Have you ever met someone who is stubborn and refuses to listen to others? Now imagine a lad named Daniel living in a bustling city. Picture him, strong-willed as an ox, often choosing to march to the beat of his own drum. No one could tell Daniel what to do, not even the school principal. As the sun rises over the bustling city, we find Daniel navigating through the early morning chaos. The city, full of noise and commotion, is his playground. The constant honking of the cars, the chatter of the passers-by, the distant wailing of sirens, all of it is music to his ears. But amidst this urban symphony, Daniel stands alone. He's known for his strong-willed nature and unwavering determination, often finding himself at odds with authority figures and peers alike. His stubbornness is legendary, but beneath that tough exterior, there's a yearning not just for respect, but for purpose and direction. This is our Daniel, a rebel in search of his cause. In the heart of the city, within the walls of its most prestigious high school, we see Daniel, our protagonist, standing against a sea of judgment. The bell rings, signaling the end of another day of classes. Daniel, however, is not rushing home. Instead, he stands in the middle of the schoolyard, a lone figure amidst the chaos of departing students. He takes a deep breath, steeling himself for the confrontation that is to come. He knows it's only a matter of time before he crosses paths with the stern-faced principal. The tension in the air is palpable as Daniel stands his ground, ready to defend his beliefs. This is Daniel, a rebel with a cause, a force that refuses to be tamed. But even rebels have their moments of doubt, and in the quiet of the deserted schoolyard, Daniel finds himself questioning his actions. Is he standing up for what's right? Or is he just a troublemaker? The question hangs in the air, unanswered, as Daniel prepares for his next battle. In the hustle and bustle of the city life, amidst the echoes of school bells and hushed whispers, an unexpected encounter changes the course of our story. As Daniel, still reeling from the confrontation, is about to leave the schoolyard, a stranger approaches him. The stranger, a visiting pastor, is drawn towards Daniel by the echoes of his fiery exchange. The pastor, a man of kindness and wisdom, approaches Daniel with a gentle smile. Voiceover. A figure emerges from the crowd, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to the bustling city life. He approaches Daniel, a small smile playing on his lips. "Hey there, young man," he says, his voice filled with warmth and understanding. "You seem to have quite a fire in you." Daniel, taken aback, responds with a hint of defiance in his voice. "What's it to you? Can't you see I'm busy?" The pastor, unfazed, continues, "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. You remind me of someone I once knew." This unexpected encounter leaves Daniel puzzled, his curiosity piqued. Who is this stranger, and why is he interested in Daniel's cause? In this moment, the stage is set for a new chapter in Daniel's life, a chapter filled with questions, understanding, and the beginning of a transformation. As the city skyline fades into the background, Daniel and the pastor find themselves seated on a park bench, away from the noise and prying eyes. The pastor, in his calm and serene demeanor, invites Daniel to share his story. Daniel, although initially hesitant, finds himself opening up to the stranger. He talks about his life, his dreams, and his frustrations. The pastor listens, a silent pillar of support. There, under the shade of a towering oak tree, a unique bond forms. Daniel, usually so defiant, allows his guard to drop, pouring out his deepest thoughts and fears. The pastor, with wisdom etched in his wrinkles, listens intently, his eyes reflecting a sea of understanding. "Sometimes," he begins, his voice a soothing balm against Daniel's raw emotions, "the greatest strength comes from vulnerability. Have you ever considered that there might be more to life than defiance and rebellion?" Daniel, taken aback, stops mid-sentence. "What do you mean?" he asks, his curiosity piqued once more. As the sun dips below the horizon, a seed of hope takes root in Daniel's heart, a seed that promises change, transformation, and a new path to tread. The city sleeps as the first rays of dawn filter through the stained glass windows of the church. Daniel, sitting alone in the silence, finds himself in deep introspection. As the hues of sunrise paint the walls of the church, Daniel is immersed in thought. He's not the same defiant boy who walked into this sacred space. Something has shifted within him. He grapples with the pastor's words, wrestling with the idea of vulnerability and strength. As he kneels, closing his eyes in prayer, a soft whisper escapes his lips. "Lord, I may have been stubborn, but I'm ready to listen now. Show me the way, and I will follow." And in that quiet moment of surrender, the hardened shell of defiance begins to crack, making way for a new understanding, a moment of awakening, a promise of transformation, and the beginning of a journey towards grace and compassion. This, my friends, is where Daniel's true journey begins. As the sun rises on a new day, we see Daniel, the same boy but with a new spirit. Voiceover. Time, as they say, heals and transforms. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the change in Daniel was palpable. The defiant boy who once roamed the city streets and challenged authority began to wear a new cloak of humility. His fiery spirit, once a source of conflict, was now tempered by wisdom and understanding. He embraced kindness, replacing his rebellious streak with a genuine desire to serve. His interactions with his teachers, friends, and even strangers reflected this transformation. His words, once sharp and biting, were now measured and thoughtful. His actions, once reckless, were now driven by consideration and respect. As the city woke up to a new day, it also woke up to a new Daniel. A Daniel who was ready to face the world with a spirit of service and a heart full of hope. His journey of transformation was not easy. It was filled with trials and tribulations. But it was his determination and newfound wisdom that guided him on the path of transformation. As the city came alive with the hustle and bustle, so did Daniel, stepping into his new role with grace and humility. The city, once a place of chaos and confusion for Daniel, now echoed with the rhythm of his transformation. His journey had not been easy, but every step was worth it. As he walked the familiar streets, he felt a sense of belonging. His once rebellious spirit was replaced with a calm resolve. The city that had once been a battleground was now his sanctuary. He found solace in the city's unseen corners, the small parks, the quiet libraries, the bustling cafes. It was in these places that he found his new self, a self molded by trials and tribulations, by the wisdom that comes with experience. Daniel was no longer the defiant boy who challenged authority. He was now a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of transformation. As he walked through the city, he saw it with new eyes. The graffiti on the walls was no longer just vandalism, but a cry for help. The homeless man in the corner was no longer just a stranger, but a fellow human being. He realized that the city, just like him, was a living, breathing entity, full of stories waiting to be told, and he was ready to listen, ready to understand, ready to help. The city had seen his transformation, and now it was time for him to help transform the city. As he stepped into the schoolyard, he knew that his journey had only just begun. His transformation was not just about him, but about the city he loved, the city he called home. Daniel was ready to embrace his new self, ready to make a difference, ready to start a new chapter in his life. Picture this: Daniel and the principal, locked in a heated discussion in the school hallway. The principal pleading with Daniel to respect his teachers and classmates, and Daniel, defiant as ever, refusing to back down. Yes, that was Daniel, a force to be reckoned with. Enter a new character, a pastor who happened to overhear the fiery exchange. Intrigued by Daniel's stubbornness, he decided to approach him. A conversation ensued, and the pastor saw something in Daniel, a strong spirit and a desire to make a difference. Imagine them, sitting on a park bench, the pastor offering Daniel a new perspective. "Daniel," he said, "being strong doesn't always mean fighting. Perhaps there's a larger purpose for you, a way to channel your energy positively, to help others." And so Daniel began to spend time with the pastor, attending church and opening his heart to new possibilities. Slowly but surely, he began to change. Visualize Daniel, once stubborn and unyielding, now praying in the church, asking for guidance, ready to listen and learn. Yes, Daniel was transforming. Fast forward a bit, and you'll see a different Daniel. A Daniel who had learned patience and understanding. A Daniel who had discovered a new purpose, to serve others. Imagine him, standing before the church congregation, sharing his journey from stubbornness to understanding, his new mission to spread kindness and forgiveness. Yes, that's Daniel, proof that with a little help and a lot of determination, anyone can change for the better. So remember, when you encounter someone stubborn, perhaps they're just a Daniel, waiting for the right conversation to set them on a path of transformation. After all, we all have the potential to change, to grow, to become better versions of ourselves. It's never too late to start. Just ask Daniel.